Stay to the end of the video for a chance to win your very own Captain America playing cards. Yo, Termin here, and welcome back to the channel where I share my experience in creating captivating short-form content. Let's talk about this. Let's open it up because it looks amazing when you open it up. It even lights up. Pretty crazy, right? Now, this deck was released by a company called Card Mafia, and they've actually released another Avenger deck as well. It was the Iron Man deck, and that got a lot of recognition. And I'm fortunate enough to have been a part of it and get to share my experience with you guys. So let's talk about the planning and the pre-production for this deck because I had to start from scratch. As amazing as this looks, you see the metallic foil, the intricate design, and it even like lights up. It's crazy. But when you think Captain America, he's like blocking stuff with his shield. He's like chucking it around everywhere. It's bouncing back and forth. And this deck of cards doesn't do any of that. Like, it doesn't do flips. It doesn't like do its own stunts. So how do we make this look visually interesting and have the same energy as what you would feel when you're watching a Captain America movie or a trailer or stuff like that? And that's the hard part, but also the fun part. What I ended up doing was, looking at graphics of like posters and watching each Captain America movie and seeing what kind of elements I can incorporate, and also the energy of the trailers because, that's the closest that I've got to a direct reference because it's short form content. Trailers have to be 2 to 3 minutes or so, right? There are no other references for like Avengers products. How do I make this look cool and not like a toy, not like a kid's toy? So using those reference materials, I basically just, had random elements and ideas that I wanted to incorporate. And then I just like basically wrote all my random thoughts down and jumbled brain vomit. I just vomited it out onto a document. I also included, action movie cliches, things that you would expect when you watch superhero movies, and then basically just come up with some shots that I think would be dynamic. Orbiting shots around the hero, the classic hero shots, basically I'm trying to emulate the same energy to this playing card. So you'll see very dynamic shots where this deck of cards is moving around as well. So it feels like an actual superhero moving around too. And the way that I approach videos like this is that I will break them into different sequences. So it doesn't feel like too flat and just like a random montage of clips. If you've watched my previous behind the scenes videos, you'll know that this is a common thing that I try to do. And this is no different. In the very beginning, I basically have some more narrative elements to it. You'll see shots of like Steve Rogers, like photos of him, his ID tag, his shield files. And then we get more into the technicality of the deck and showing off the cool design. And I basically broke it into 2 halves. So the first half is more like a warm, kind of nostalgic type of feeling. The second half is more dramatic. It's more driving. There's like a drop in the music where you finally see the reveal of the deck opening up. And that's pretty much how I formatted the video. And in terms of music, I actually used 2 different tracks. So the beginning one, I used a slower cinematic one to really build up that atmosphere. And then the second half is a second track that I thought would work with the first track, like it'll blend together. And honestly, finding music is so hard. I wish there was like a good tip I could give for you for that, because I really feel like music is like the backbone in terms of setting the atmosphere and the tone and the energy of the video and making it effective. Imagine just watching the video without sound. Like, you don't feel the same impact, right? Even the wrong music or the wrong sound effects isn't going to make it feel impactful. I always spend so much time on music. Now, the next thing that I had to plan was the props. What are some things that would aid the energy in the environment and basically enhance the feeling of Captain America and make this product look better? I mean, you can always play it safe with your product videos and just put it on like a solid black background, but that can be plain Jane, very vanilla. Sorry if her name is Jane or vanilla. And how I think about what types of props to incorporate is, elements of the actual character. For example, their costume. So I use elements of the costume. It's all about really like textures for me to create that interesting visual. So I'd be focusing on the star on his costume, for example, or even the American flag that kind of like I use as foreground for one of them because he's Captain America, American flag. It makes sense, right? And then there are scenes in Captain America where it feels like really grungy. You'll see like him in like a concrete backdrop because he's fighting, Bucky or fighting whoever. So that's why I use like kind of like a concrete texture to build that atmosphere. So it's really just like studying the elements that you think would work and applying that to this product, basically. You're just bringing it down to a smaller scale. That's all it really is to me. So when everything is done planning, we finally move into the production phase, which means we shoot the stuff that I planned. And hopefully I have a concrete ironclad plan and shot list that I can fall back on. So when things get a little bit scrambled on set and I get really tunnel vision, then I can always fall back on my shot list and hope things go well. They usually do. most of the time. So the first thing that we did, and usually what I do, is set deck, and I will basically build the scene that Captain America will be in at first. Like I said before, I broke it into basically two phases, right? Or two environments. One is kind of like a sunsetty lighting with like an orangey glow to it. And the second half is basically where more of the action shots are. So you'll notice that in the beginning, there's a lot of like smooth camera movements, a lot slower pacing, that slower cinematic buildup. And then later on, there's a lot more movement, more dynamic movement, not only the camera itself, but but also the deck. And that was a lot of fun, trying to make the deck move and have it do its own stunts as if it really is Captain America. And yeah, let's break that stuff down and take a look at the behind the scenes, and I'll talk over what is going on over there. And let's cut to the behind the scenes. Before we continue, I noticed 75% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you enjoy the video so far and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. All right, we are in day 1 for the Captain America playing cards shoot. We have some on standby and we're pretty much ready to rock and roll in terms of like the whole camera and lighting setup and stuff like that. So it's nothing too crazy. So the first one is going to be kind of like a sunset glow type of vibe. So we have this LED light stick that's right now bouncing the light so that it hits a bit on the backdrop, but it's not too harsh. And then we have this additional light on the side over here to provide some extra oomph to the deck, because this is a little bit too soft. So we want something a little bit harsher, and it has this kind of nice elongated lines. So I'm kind of mixing soft and hard shadows. And then later on, we'll be switching up the lighting setup. It'll be a little more cool toned, so it's not like all happening in the sunset, so that we have that visual contrast in the video. Yeah, not much else to say except Captain America himself is the one behind the camera right now. As you can see his outfit. I'll show you some of him putting that on as well. But we also have a shot list over here. I usually don't print out a shot list. I usually put it on my phone so they can check it off on like a checklist. But I felt like having one physical, just because this is a more like controlled environment, I can actually just like set this aside and then refer back to this, because when you're going to like run and gun locations, it's kind of a pain to like have this big piece of paper that you got to bring around. It's a lot of shots, but it's not too many. The last shoot that we worked on together had more shots than this, so I'm pretty sure we can knock this out without too much trouble. Hopefully it'll all turn out really well. We are going to be having the deck basically go into Jansen's hand horizontally like that. He doesn't actually have the power to have it kind of go back to his hand, so we're going to film it in reverse. So what's going to happen is we're going to drop the deck onto that little soft little drop pad right over there. It's like a stunt deck. We're going to reverse it so it looks like it goes back to his hand, and then we're going to take a clean plate of just the deck itself and then make it look like it's horizontally going into his hand. That is the plan, and we're going to find out if it'll work out. Opening up some Captain America comics over here. Gonna be using these as props and see some Captain America. Help build that Captain America comic book atmosphere, that origin kind of atmosphere. It was inevitable to eventually run into a small hiccup. So Herman, some technical difficulties, eh? They're trying to get this part that's dangling right now attached back to the case, and we're not the ones who necessarily made this case, so I don't know exactly how it's constructed and what's the best way to kind of restore it back to its former glory. Good thing we have more boxes and more product that we can fall back on, but how do they make this? It's all handmade. Oh, go in. Captain America is back. Damn, that's pretty good.
Oh, it's got some heft to it.
Oh,
dude.
Oh, we got straps, dude. Got the full cosplay going on.
There we go. How do I look now?
Holy
do I look more legit?
You do look really legit. Okay, so this is our shield set up from Jansen's idea of using C-stands to kind of keep it in place. We want to take a look at the back end, all the jank behind it. I mean, it's actually not that janky. It's just 2 C-stands brilliantly using the latches from the shield so that it is held in place and it looks like it's floating in midair. Although that's not really the purpose. The purpose was to kind of have it facing towards camera so that behind the eyes of the lens, it looks kind of like this. Yeah, right now it's really contrasty from this monitor, so it's really dark, but we are going to add this light swing to give it that cinematic action feel. So we got a shot of the shield, the costume, and then we blended it in post. We are going to age this piece of paper because it looks like a freshly printed out document, which doesn't really make sense. We want to give it some character and make it look like it's actually old. And in order to do so, we're going to age the paper. Yeah, how we're going to do that is we're going to blotch some coffee, and then in order to dry it fast enough, because we need to shoot it right now, we're going to just stick it in the oven for a little bit so that it actually dries and looks a little more aged. And hopefully it'll be okay, because this is the only copy that we have.
Herman has done this many a times. He's a master at it.
A master at recreating disaster. Because out of the many times that I've tried this, I'm just glad I didn't cause a house fire. We're finally doing a reveal of the Captain America deck, like actually showcasing the case opening, which is pretty cool. And it lights up like that. So we're gonna be doing that with his Captain America outfit, and then through the frame, it looks something kind of like this, which is really pretty cinematic, right? Because it was hard to nail focus in his last mark, we ended up shooting in reverse and then reversed it in post, so it looks like he's opening it. We're on day 2 of the shoot.
Herman's gonna make me do this shot by myself, apparently, because he's gonna hold the camera this time.
Exactly. So, I'm just gonna stand here and judge him while he takes my direction.
We have the technology.
We do have the technology.
I have an automated cameraman. I just gotta push a button and it does a thing.
Yeah, so we set the in and out points already for the slider so that it will basically be pushing into this open deck. There's this light swing, so it's nice and dynamic. The shadows will be moving, and then the slider will be pushing in and pulling out so that there's some subtle movement. And I have it done automatically just because it's a pretty subtle movement and I don't want any bumps or hiccups or anything like that. So it'll be a consistent motion and we can rely
rely on the power of technology. Hit the record button and watch it go.
So we didn't end up using the shot, but it was a good test run so that we can merge it into another shot where the deck will be deflecting bullets.
So we got that little strobe light happening right now because this shot should be, you know, Captain America deflecting the bullets with its shield. And then the behind the scenes, you won't imagine what it looks like.
Who can imagine, guys? You never know what really happens behind the camera.
Oh my god, you can see the bounce board.
So that's the quickest way to get demonetized on YouTube. Just kidding, I can't even monetize my videos yet, but we're getting there. As for how this shot turned out,
Dude, that's f***ing sick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
sound effects on set are always necessary, especially when we're imagining it ricocheting bullets.
We are taping the Captain America deck with fishing wire so that we can pull it upwards, and then we're gonna basically reverse the shot so it seems like it lands on the corner of the deck. So that's the idea. It's based off something that I did a while ago that I will show on screen, and basically recreating that. I thought it would be fitting for this concept. We're trying to get the deck so that it doesn't rotate because one fishing line is not enough for it to not rotate, I guess. When I think about this, it feels like this deck is doing stunts. It's like the cables that are being pulled to do stunt actions and action scenes.
3, 2, 1, go. What happened?
It slipped in my hand.
Oh. As you can tell, it took a little while.
My back.
But we ended up getting a really good take. But that wasn't the only stunt shot for this deck.
Basically, Captain America, or the deck, is going to be sliding from right to left with fishing wire. The camera is set up on a slider, right? So the idea is that the camera will slide along with the movement and track the motion of the sliding deck. And you can kind of see the blurry screen, what it's gonna see. It's gonna get that nice parallax with the rocks we pulled with a fishing wire that Jansen will be pulling. With his other hand, he will pretend to be Captain America with a glove, and it'll seem like that it goes to his hand.
And then it was finally time for me to suit up. And boy, it was tough.
You're missing your mark.
And that was only one of the many problems that we would face, because sometimes I'd be catching the card weird, or it would be going out of focus, or it would land upside down until finally...
Please tell me that was it. Please can you tell me that was it?
It's always rewarding when you get that perfect take, even if it lasts like 1 or 2 seconds in the video. And we finally got to our last shot, which is pretty easy to do. Just a handheld, shaky shield shot. We are done. We've done all our shots on the shot list, checked everything off, which was really handy to actually have on set. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty well in terms of the execution of everything. Like, everything turned out the way that I envisioned, and I think it was an overall very smooth shoot, which is really nice. I'm glad that Jansen was free so that he can help me out, because he was like a second set of brains on set, so he can help me catch things that I couldn't. It was also really handy having such wonderful props that were provided to really build that atmosphere. So that was really nice. I think that's the secret to having good product videos and product photography. You just have good set deck to really build that atmosphere in that environment. Here is the final video. Let's check it out right now. So yeah, what were some takeaways and lessons from doing this video, huh? I felt like this was a great exercise, translating the energy from other forms of videos, such as movies, over to this video. It's like a shift of energy. That sounds fucking crazy. For example, is in action movies, you'll see a lot of like shaky handheld movements to feel like you're in the moment and you're there, you know, experiencing the action and the danger. And for this product video, I also incorporated handheld movements just so it feels like you're also in the moment, especially when the deck of cards is deflecting the bullets. Like, it feels more dynamic that way. Another example is you'll see superhero movies. They'll always have this like cool superhero land, right?
Such a poser.
And when they do that, it's like you feel the weight of it. Like, it might even like break the ground and create cracks and rubble and stuff like that. And that's why I have a shot like that in this video as well. Now, if you made it this far to the video, thank you. Thank you for sticking around for so long. I appreciate it. If you didn't and you just skipped ahead to this giveaway portion, then don't worry, it doesn't hurt your chances of winning. Just hurts my feelings. And basically, I want to give one of these away to you guys so that you can feel that same excitement that I felt when I first opened it up. I show it on camera, but it doesn't even do it justice. It'll be sealed, so don't worry. I'm not going to give you one that may be used on set or anything like that. All you have to do is just leave a comment down below on this YouTube video and just comment something that you've learned from this video or something that you liked about this video. Somewhere in your comment as well, just add a hashtag giveaway, and automatically that's how you become part of this contest. In 2 weeks, I'm going to pick a random comment on this video with the hashtag giveaway, of course. I'm just going to use a website to randomly pick a comment, and I will announce the winner on this channel by making a video. It'll be like a YouTube short or something like that. So just make sure that you are subscribed and you hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on that. It would be pretty tragic if you were the winner and you just never find out. Yeah, that's it. Everyone who watches this video gets a chance to win. That's pretty much it. Hopefully you took something away from the creative process that I shared, and also, you know, the behind the scenes and the amount of work that goes behind executing some of these ideas. And hopefully you're not too intimidated by what you saw, and that it inspires you to try new ideas as well. It doesn't need to be like super intricate or like outlandish or anything like that. It's just small steps towards a goal that you may have, and just trying new ideas here and there in every project that you work on. That's at least the way that I approach things. That's the only way to grow. So let's grow together. And also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I do behind the scenes stuff, I do tutorials, and also fun short form content here and there. If you want to see what I'm personally up to as well, you can check out my socials. It's just down in the description. That is the behind the scenes for the Captain America deck. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you guys in the next video. That would have been good if I stepped on the trigger correctly. Let's try it again. Hell yeah.